How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
There's a lot to talk about this week, Will.
Yeah.
A lot to talk about. Dude. So, everybody, welcome to Story of the Fight. Another week where we get to discuss everything fighting. My name is Ramiro. I'm with my boy, Will.
What up?
In the background, you can't see him, but Rich the Casual, our producer. So, what up, Rich? But yeah, man, a lot to cover.
Yeah,
so much to cover.
Insane.
So busy weekend, man. So,
very busy.
First I was just thinking, man, there's so many places you could find us: Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts.
Think about it all the time.
All the time, man. I wake up thinking about it. And
I wake up and I'm like, man, anywhere you look.
everywhere you look, everywhere you go, as Tupac said, you see the same podcast.
Yeah,
but
that's what he said.
That's exactly what he said. If anybody likes our content, please like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell. Goes a long way. Social media.
Yeah, we're at Story of the Fight on Instagram and Twitter, and we have a group chat on Facebook. It is Story of the Fight chat. Yeah,
and I'm trying to figure out the social media stuff. Like right now, I put a story on Instagram letting everybody know we're about to go live. And I feel like I'm 36 going on 55 because I'm like, how do you work this thing again? What do I press? But dude, So busy weekend, right? So first, Saturday, flag football tournament at 9 a.m. for Dallas, baseball game at 1, get home, catch up on the UFC fights, and then we watch some boxing at night. Shout out to my homeboy Tommy Rush who invited me over to watch that fight. Today, flag football tournament in the AM. Dallas played 3 games. Didn't end very well. Did not end very well. Your boy Dallas took probably the hardest hit I've ever seen him take.
In flag football? I didn't realize it was flag football.
It's flag football, bro.
What's going on down there?
For me, it makes it worse because playing football, kids have gear on, first of all. And when they're going up to another kid, they're embracing for impact. Right?
They have gear on for flag?
Yeah, 2 flags.
That's the gear?
That's the gear.
Okay, I was gonna say.
There's a kid running full speed at Dallas. Dallas ducks down to grab the flags. Kid puts his head down because it's too late for him to move. The crown of the kid's head goes straight into Dallas's forehead and nose.
Oh man.
Dallas goes flying back. Head bounces off the turf, right? So he sits up really quickly, and I'm like, okay, he's good. But then when he tries to get up to walk off the field, he falls again.
Oh, man.
And dude, if I could ever tell you the scariest feeling I've ever felt was the second I saw him go back down. Because, we see our kids get hurt. You know what I mean? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But seeing him get hurt, try to walk off on his own will and collapses again, dude, I was Usain Bolt. Yeah, I ran on that field so fast, man. I haven't moved that fast in so long, dude. And he was down for a solid 10 minutes, man. So it was pretty scary, scary.
That's gnarly, dude.
Oh, dude,
that's
gnarly.
Super gnarly.
But good news is he's 8.
Yeah, fucking hell, 8. Dude.
I had to help him off the field, but good news, as soon as we sat down, I asked him, there was a nice guy that was a coach from another team. He's like, hey, how old are you? He says how old he is. He's like, where do you go to school? He says where he goes to school. He's like, who's your teacher? He says, this is who my teacher is. He goes like, what city do you live in? He goes, dude, I don't know. And I was like, okay, he's doing okay. You know what I mean?
All of a sudden he knows.
Yeah.
You're like, cool.
No, but
what's the square root?
He's doing a lot better now. He was happy watching the Cowboys game afterwards, dude. But I started thinking like, man, that must have been how Deontay Wilder felt yesterday.
And that's probably how Tyson Fury felt.
Dude, okay. So just had to share my weekend with you. Well, did you have anything going on?
Not too much, God bless Dana for having the prelim start at 11 a.m. because he knows
Ah.
everybody's going to be watching Wilder Fury 2 or 3.
Yes. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, why are you going to compete for no reason, There's
Not
a
with
reason the card...
King.
Yeah, there's a reason it wasn't a pay-per-view on Saturday,
Yeah.
But, so yeah, thankfully, I mean, for me, at 11 o'clock, I started watching the fights, watched those, watched Doom Patrol until the Fury Wilder fight started. Then I watched that.
What's
and
that?
I went to bed. So it was Doom Patrol.
Yeah, what's that?
It's a DC show on HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, so just fights.
Have you started watching Squid Games on Netflix?
No, never heard of Squid Games.
Dude, yeah, I'm sure you haven't heard of it. But
I've heard of Squid Game, but I haven't watched it yet.
Well, okay, is that what it's called? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Rich, the casual, coming through saying no spoilers, fools.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't watched it, so I was just asking if he had.
Yeah, I'm out of the
seen it,
loop.
but
it's been too busy, dude. It's been too busy. When am I going to watch that?
The fight last night, one of the best heavyweight fights I've watched in a very long time, man.
Maybe ever.
Dude,
maybe not the best, but it's definitely up there. It's on the short list.
Dude. And look, I'm gonna be honest here because I was so looking forward to Fury versus Joshua, and then when I heard the rematch clause and all these things, I was like, God damn it, here we go again. Do I really want to watch this? In my eyes, Fury beat Wilder twice already. I don't want to watch this. Yeah. And then again, my boy Tommy Rush hits me up. He's like, hey, you want to come over? I was like,
you're like, yeah, I want to watch this.
Yeah. Let me go. So I go over. And dude, I was so happy that this trilogy happened.
Well, here's the thing, yeah. I mean, he won the first fight. I don't care what they say. It was a draw just so they could sell a rematch, right?
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's just get into it. The walkouts. So remember the last fight, Wilder's excuse was my walkout costume was too heavy.
Yes.
My legs were tired by the time I got to the ring. I mean, that was the first excuse. Then there was 20 more, but so he walks out with just the mask this time, no full armor.
And can I say that this was a fantastic substitute to the full armor still? Yeah,
still looks good. I'm all for this. I thought it was great. Yeah. Then I'm like, what the hell? So before we switch, Rich, Katie doesn't care about boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she can say what she wants, but she cares about Tyson Fury. And
who doesn't?
Yeah. And she was like, what? She's like, what's this walkout going to be like? And I'm like, it's either going to be something very basic or it's going to be very over the top. And there's no in between. Last time he got carried out on a throne wearing a crown and a robe, and people carried him.
Do you remember when he walked down the full Mexican sombrero too? And the
yeah,
dude,
and the Apollo Creed with the Uncle
so
Sam outfit. I mean, come on. So then we get the weird dancing dude, the gypsy dancer, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets to Tyson Fury, and he's wearing full Spartan gear.
Oh,
and Jay Peasy, shout out Jay Peasy.
There's only one Tyson Fury. Oh my god,
dude! But then I couldn't find a good picture of it to upload. But then he switches to that Jesus trucker cap, and it was the greatest, most white trashiest thing ever. I think he purposely didn't trim up his beard and edge it up because normally it's real lined up, but he's just a shaggy beard and a foam trucker hat with Jesus written in a fish on it. It was so beautiful.
Oh my god, man.
What a showman.
As soon as the walkout started, I started getting goosebumps, right? And I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so excited for this fight again. And I went in not wanting to watch this, I'm gonna admit, but yeah. Hey, by the way, JPZ, thank you for joining us again. And you've been a real one. Join us on a regular basis. Do me a favor. Just go ahead and comment, where you're located and see if we can get your information over to Richard Casual. I might have a Story of the Fight t-shirt to send your way if we have your size. But, yeah, we'd love to send one your way. But getting into the fight here. So the first round.
So how about real quick? Before the fight started, they're in the ring, and the cameras are cutting back and forth. And it cuts to Tyson, and you see his mouth go, bitch, right? You can't hear him, but it's you can hear him, you see him say bitch.
Yes.
And then it gets closer and he's just like, bitch ass. And it comes through the TV. So funny, dude.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. Just the entire buildup, you know what I mean? And then dude, Tyson Fury, he has a way with words. Everybody knows this. He gives a great interview, right? And he there's something about him, man. He's like gravity. You get pulled in by everything that Tyson Fury does.
Yeah.
And again, the first round, first of all, I see how much larger Deontay Wilder looks. Weighed in at his heaviest ever in his career, 238 of solid muscle.
He looked massive. He looked solid massive. Muscle. They said this fight combined was the most weight in a ring for a title in boxing history. Wow. Most combined weight in history.
And also
massive guys.
Lennox, not Lennox. Lennox Lewis.
Lennox.
Lennox Lewis when he goes, this weightlifting and that's sports science. And I was like, oh, slow down. What do we mean by sports science here? Let's not get into it. But dude, he looked really good. Came out with the jab to the body, which is what I thought he needed to do. When he'd go to the right, straight to the body too.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, off the get-go, like you said, you didn't want to watch it. I wanted to watch it, but at the same time, I was like, this is pointless, right? It's pointless. It doesn't need to happen. But obviously, the matchup, I'm still very interested in the matchup because say what you will, right, about how many rounds Fury has won versus how many rounds Wilder has won. All it takes is one from Deontay Wilder. All it takes is one. So no matter how many times somebody beats him, it's always compelling because he has the equalizer.
Yep.
So I was like, yeah, Fury's going to win this. Fury's going to win this. And then as soon as it started, I was like biting my nails and I was like, oh God, just like so
edge nervous. Of your seat, pins and needles, man. I was the exact same way. And with Deontay Wilder, I kind of started thinking about his mental strength because after he took his last loss, it was every excuse under the sun, every excuse you could think of. So
crazy excuses.
Yeah, crazy excuses. And look, I know that these fighters, in order to be great fighters, they have to have an ego. Yeah, they have to. And I know that Deontay's ego was absolutely shattered, man. His world was shattered. So I was really curious, like how is he going to be able to handle adversity? Because he knew he was going to face adversity again. Yeah. And all I could say is that I was so impressed with Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, real quick. Shout out Bruce Bobtrotter. Luckily, we don't have to see Holm versus Dumont. That fight's not happening anymore. But also the card is very stacked. Be excited for that card because it's super stacked. Holm versus Dumont's not happening. It's Aspinlad versus Dumont. But don't worry about the main event because the card is stacked. It's just not a pay-per-view card, but it's very good.
I wonder if Mr. Bruce Bobtrotter got to watch the Fury Wilder fight.
Yeah, I don't know. And shout out George also.
Hey, mates, big over here. I'd love to hear more discussions on boxing, biggest fights mixed in with MMA. Cheers to you, George. Cheers to you, George. But yes, so
adversity.
What was the turning point for you
in this fight?
Yes.
Well, so like you said, you were starting to say earlier, we need to see some kind of improvement from Deontay Wilder because up until this point, he's gotten so far on very bare bones, basic footwork, a very basic lead hand, and a big right hand. That's pretty much all he's had, right? And it's gotten him very far. He has got like 40 knockouts, right, with that right hand. I mean, he lands a right straight on your forehead, and you're going to go down.
I think he landed behind Ortiz's head too, and Ortiz went down. So
yeah, but this one, the first round starts, and it's like, all right, what am I looking for in this fight? The first fight, we saw Tyson dance around, feinting crazy head movement, and point fighting perfection, right? Second fight, he just absolutely steamrolls Wilder, that Kronk style, right? Just in his face, smashing him, tiring him out, blitzing him, and eventually beating him down, right? And then, so it's like, okay, we know Fury can beat Wilder with multiple styles. So going into this fight, we need to see something from Wilder. And right away, we see the jab to the body and then the right cross straight to the body. And it was sending Fury back, right? And it was like, ooh, that's another wrinkle that Fury now has to worry about and deal with, right? And that's new. I mean, we haven't seen Wilder improve in years because he hasn't had to, right? So it was like when at a certain point you have to, and he did. So I was like, this is going to be very interesting, right? Very interesting. The turning point for me was in the third round when Tyson Fury drops him close to the end of the round, and he dropped him good. And I was like, oh shit, this is Wilder may have made the adjustments, but Fury is I mean, this is pretty much a wrap. I thought it was a wrap. Third round ends, fourth round starts, and it looks like Tyson Fury is just bullying him, but then he drops him in the corner.
Oh,
and I was
man.
like, oh no. I was like, holy shit, dude. And it was a crazy knockdown too, because he hits him clean, right? And he stays up for a second. He tries to clinch, and then his whole body just like shuts down. And I was like, that's not good. It wasn't a clean knockout, right? Where he happened to get up in 10 seconds, but it was like a delayed reaction where his body shut down. And I was like, I don't know if he's going to be able to get up from a body shut down, knockdown like that. And I was like, this is not good. And then the fight kept going, and the fourth round kept going. And then he drops him again. This time not against the ropes, but right in the center. I mean, look at him, dude. Look at the way his legs are. I mean, and that one was a solid one in the clinch right to the top of the ear, right? That was the one that one was a drop, very different. And I mean, I was like, this is fucking not good. Not good for old me, right? Obviously, I'm fucking a fan.
Or Katie.
Yeah, seriously. At that moment, what did you think? How the fight was going?
So, okay.
And so the fourth round ends, right? Fury got knocked down twice.
Yes, and end of the third round, I thought, okay, saved by the bell. Let's see how Deontay looks. Deontay still looked a bit wobbly coming out in the fourth round, which I think is why Tyson was smelling blood, and he left himself open a little bit more, right?
Definitely.
He got a little too confident. Coming in, again, Wilder has that equalizer. And then the fourth round ends, fifth round starts, and Fury seemed a little wobbly himself coming out. But in the middle of the fifth round, you see him back on his toes. He's got a little bit more pep in his step. His movement got so much better.
Well, that's way later, Rich.
But when we're looking at what Fury was able to do, for me, when I think about the turning point or what caused the turning points, really it's that 40-pound difference. Yeah. Where after exchanges, Fury had no problem putting Wilder in a headlock and leaning so heavy on him.
For me, it's not just that. It's I mean, there's a lot of key moments, right? That's definitely one of the biggest ones is the weight difference, right? Like heavyweight boxing, that's what you deal with, right? But also, it's rare that the guy that's that much heavier is also that skilled. Like, when do you ever see that? Yeah. Because, dude, for me, the difference maker in this fight was the left hand, the lead hand for both of them. At the beginning, Wilder's throwing that jab. He's pumping it to the body, right? He finally starts going up top to land the straight up top instead of to the body. I wish he was mixing it up more. It seemed like he was either going to the body or going to the head, and he wasn't like mixing the two with his combos. But what are you going to do, right? But with the difference, though, is Fury, dude, when he throws that jab, that step-in jab, oh my God, is it strong? And then
it hit different.
Half the time it's like, because he steps in the jab almost like you're going to step in or like hop in like a Roy Jones Jr. style lead hook, but he throws it straight. I'm like, God damn, that's got power. But then sometimes he does throw the hook, and then sometimes he throws the hook short on purpose, and it brings your hands down, and then the right comes over the top, and that's what he was able to drop him with early in the fight. And I mean, he's just so skilled, right? Like, the weight and that kind of like ringsmanship and understanding of boxing to be able to completely switch your approach is just, I mean, how often do you see that in a heavyweight fight where a guy gets dropped, the next round he drops his opponent twice, and then the next round the guy who just got dropped twice wins it?
Yeah. Oh, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. These two are just fantastic. And I wish I would have seen, like, you talk about the strategy, right, for Wilder coming in. I wish there would have been like, hey, for the first 6 rounds, this is what our strategy is, and after that, this is what it is, or maybe round by round.
You can't quite do that though, because it depends on what your opponent does.
No, I get it. But my problem is that he continued coming in with that left jab to the body, then the right cross to the body. And in the second round, in the end of the second round, you see Fury starting to counter it with the right hook. Whenever Wilder was coming in with a left jab to the body, he'd go right hook up top. So it's like, dude, let's mix it up from round to round, right? Maybe you don't come in with that left jab to the body right away. Like you said, let's mix it up a little bit more. So he started catching him so much more with that counter right hook. And, dude, it was just – it was a chess match. And it might not seem like it was a very strategic fight from Wilder, but dude, I don't know. I was just so pumped off this fight.
The fact that Wilder can make those adjustments pre-fight at this level, at this age and at this level of his career, the fact that he was able to make those adjustments. I mean, obviously he fired Mark Breland, which the reason he did it is wrong in my opinion, but I think he did learn, right, with a new camp. He's definitely taking things into consideration and recognizing that he does need to, because I was worried, right, that he makes all these excuses that he's not going to improve himself because he thinks, oh, Fury beat me because he cheated, I don't have to make any adjustments, right? But he did. And I thought his corner did a great job in this fight, as far as like in between round advice. But then as the fight went on, I mean, how tough is Deontay Wilder? He was just taking shots, and Fury was able to land like uppercuts. Once he started landing that right uppercut, I was like, damn, that's a whole new facet. And then in the 10th, he drops him good. And then in the 11th, he finishes him, right? And that finishing shot, dude, I mean, that's it right there. That right hook up against the ropes.
It was brutal.
It was insane. And at that point, I was like, it's got to be over. It's got to be over. Because at that point, so he gets dropped in the 10th, right? And then at the end of the 10th, was it the 10th that he got dropped in? I think he got dropped in the 10th. But then at the end of that round, or maybe it was the end of the 9th. Not the 10th, sorry, the 9th. He was losing, right? No, he got dropped in the 10th, but at the end of the 9th, he hurt Fury against the ropes. And I was like, oh shit, the tide might be turning again. But then in the 10th, he gets dropped. In the 11th, he gets put away like this. And at that point, I was like, there's no way. These guys have been dropped too many times. There's no way we're getting back up from this one. And that one was brutal. That was a brutal knockout.
I mean, he face planted, right?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a complete face plant, but I mean, there was just no getting back up from that. And the ref stopped it right away, right after.
Fantastic job by the ref too.
Yeah.
The whole fight.
Absolutely. But I think Tyson Fury said it best.
That's a tough fight to ref.
At the end, he said, I'm the best fighter in the world. I'm number 1, and he's number 2. And dude, that's just, it's tough, man. It's tough for Wilder. He just happens to be in the era where the Gypsy King is ruling.
Yeah, even Fury said that. He was like, I feel bad that all these guys have to fight in my era.
Oh, yeah, dude. It sucks for them. George coming through with the comment says, if Wilder was so sure it was everything but Fury being better than that beat him, why make adjustments in your camp?
Well, so I don't know if you mean adjustments in your camp as far as like new skills or as far as the people in your camp. The people in the camp, the adjustment was because he thought Mark Breland poisoned him, which is crazy.
Again, all kinds of crazy excuses that he had after, right?
Yeah. As far as adjusting your game, elevating your game, even if you do believe that he only beat you because he's cheated, you still want to improve, right? You're still going to make adjustments. So yeah, I mean, either way, he's going to make adjustments. You want to improve every camp, right? Also, shout out Sansan, one of the realest dudes.
For sure.
Saying one of the best podcasts out there. I appreciate you, Sansan.
Thank you, Sansan. Appreciate you, my man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So, Zach coming through. I know nothing about these fights, but just listening to you guys talk about it with that passion is exciting. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it. Yeah. You know, Richard Casual, our producer, that's why we call him Richard Casual, because he casually watches fights. And when I say casually, I mean casually watches fights. But he finally watched some fights recently, and guess what? He loved them. So, Zach, maybe you can watch some fights here coming up soon and get some passion for yourself, my friend. But yeah, so anything else on this fight other than the fact that it was one of the best heavyweight fights that I've personally ever seen?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible, right? What else? We have a bunch of comments on this one already. Jesus Christ.
Oh, do we? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mummified Sumo. You want to read that one?
That's a sick name, dude.
It is a pretty sick name. Mummified Sumo.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Wilder has heart and strength, but without technique, he can't reach higher levels. Fury knows the science of boxing and ring IQ. Just shows he's limitless. I agree, but
he's gotten this far though. When you think about it, you know, like,
well, that's what happens at heavyweight, right?
Yeah, he's been a champion, and like you said, he has that equalizer. He has that equalizer. He has that touch of death, man. He taps people, very much like Ngannou, right? He touches people anywhere in this area, in the fist, and guess what? They're usually going down.
But I do see improvement from him in this fight. I saw improvement, and I respect that. I really respect that because, I mean, at that level, it's difficult to just do that. Usyk or Fury. I have Fury in that.
Obviously, Fury. I have Fury as well. I have Fury as well.
Because, I mean, I see Usyk is so small for heavyweight, right? He came up right in the division. I mean, he had a fantastic fight against Anthony Joshua too. The fact that we just had both those fights back to back is insane. But Usyk has to get close to Fury, and Usyk's smaller than Wilder. So if he's going to get close and inside box Fury's just going to weigh him down. As long as Fury can survive for a bit, I mean, I don't see a way that Usyk can win. He doesn't have the one punch. He has knockout power, obviously, right? But he doesn't have the one punch knockout power that Wilder has. So I just don't see. He's going to have to get close. Either Fury's going to fight him the same way he fought Wilder the first fight and dance around Ali style, head movement, feinting, and not let him get close. I don't know why
when you started moving your head, I started moving my head too, like you're trying to counter your head movement.
Yeah. Or he's just going to tire him out every time Usyk gets close. And I don't know if it's going to be the most exciting fight, though, I'll be honest. But I do think Fury wins it.
But you know what? I'll watch it.
Yeah, of course
anything Fury does, I'll watch it. He can fight one of those Bob dummies, dude, and I'll watch it. I'm just, dude, I'm hooked, man. I'm hooked. All right, anything else on that fight?
Let's see. Stuff keep coming in. What are people saying?
You got more comments coming through?
Yeah.
Bruce, Bob Trotter, once again, respect to Wilder, but he has some mental problems to not appreciate Breland for stopping a fight for his own good and refuses to show any sportsmanship. Won't shake hands after. That is pathetic. And that's one of the things I mentioned where, hey, this guy had a huge ego, and you heard every excuse under the sun after his last fight. And it had me thinking, like, where's his mental space at coming into this fight?
Well, so allow me to at least like defend him a little bit. Obviously, in this rivalry, I'm clearly a Tyson Fury fan, but
Gypsy King fan.
Yeah. I don't condone him firing Breland for throwing the towel in and not realizing that. But at the same time, to get to that level in heavyweight boxing, it's very tough to put your ego aside in those moments. It was also his first like main loss, right? So like that's a tough thing to deal with. I can't imagine the
didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah, and this last one won't shake hands after the fight. I'm not gonna. I'll never judge somebody for how they act after being flatlined, KO'd like that. I know Fury went over there, but if you've never been knocked out before, like it's just. I mean, you're not yourself. You know what I mean? You're not even there. So I can't judge somebody's actions post knockout like that.
You know, and quite honestly, I'm glad that they didn't interview him afterwards. I'm glad he didn't hang out for an interview. We've seen in the UFC now where Joe Rogan says he doesn't want to interview fighters that have recently been knocked out.
He's done an interview since at the hospital.
Yeah.
And I mean, he said Fury beat him. I mean, he was like,
He said he was better than me tonight.
He was better than me. He used his weight to tire me out. He used it well. He beat me, right? So the not shaking handling it thing, so far. Yeah, but the in-ring antics, I can't blame him for that. You know, he just got knocked out. You know.
Yep. All right, shall we move on? I mean, this could be an entire
Andy Ruiz, boxer himself.
Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
Even better than Ali, he said, huh? Even better than Ali. So, and he's talking about Tyson Fury.
Talking about Tyson Fury.
Fury's the best boxer in history. Wow, that's saying something.
I love Fury's answer to that question too. Like, how would you beat the greats, right? Or would you beat the greats? And he's like, I don't touch those. Those are in the past. They did what they did. They're great. I don't even entertain the thoughts of that because I'm not gonna talk over their legacy like that.
Yeah, dude. I don't like to compare unless it's Michael Jordan over LeBron James all day. Don't at me. That's all I'm saying. All right, so
basketball.
We'll go and let's go ahead and move on because basketball. To UFC, we had UFC Fight Night Vegas 39. Dern versus Rodriguez, dude. Classic grappler versus striker matchup.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it, right?
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
So, dude, Dern, when she was able to get on top, so dominant, man.
Yeah.
And one of my concerns with Dern in the past was her gas, right? Her cardio, which I thought, hey, it's getting better. But at the same time, she's been finishing fighters via submission, first, second rounds.
I thought her gas tank held up in this fight.
I think otherwise.
I don't attribute what happened in this fight to her gas tank.
So I think about the third round specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you think about the second round, how it is that she was able to get Rodriguez down, it was with aggressive combinations coming in. Okay.
Yeah.
When you see her third round and her entry seemed a lot more lazy going in, a lot slower going in, which I attribute that to the gas tank.
I think it was more of her getting pieced up and her being more apprehensive to go in the way she did before. I don't think it was a gas tank thing necessarily. I mean, who knows, right? But the way I saw it was more about her being apprehensive because she was getting lit up rather than her
gas
fading.
tank.
Yeah, because she was still going in. It's at this point, it's still a striking skill gap that's blocking her. That's what's really blocking
Which
her.
She has improved. She has improved a lot with Perillo.
She's improved, but it's still not quite there. She's looking when she throws her combo and she's doing this and she's looking down.
You heard Perillo yell that out too. He said, "Don't look down."
Yeah, bad.
Don't look down. He yelled a few times.
And it's tough to break those habits. I don't know if that's something that you can break at this level. She has the coach to do it, right? Perillo's a fantastic striking coach specifically, but it's going to take time, man. And she needs that, and she needs like solid wrestling, because even the way she got her down, it was not with like a traditional shoot, right? She's willing to pull someone down onto her, and I mean, when she does get it down, her grappling. Dude, her ability to control and not get swept and use their sweeps to end up back on top. Holy shit, is she incredible to watch on the ground.
In the fourth too, right? When Rodriguez is blitzing her a little bit, they kind of fall. And using Rodriguez's momentum, she like butterfly sweeps her over as they're falling. And I was like, oh my God, dude, she's just amazing. She's dangerous at any point in time.
She almost got swept, and then she ends up taking her back. And I was like, fuck, dude, she's so high level. And they were like, yeah, one of the greatest grapplers in women's MMA. And I was like, no.
The greatest?
In MMA. In all of MMA. Not just
the greatest?
Not the greatest in all of MMA, but definitely the greatest in women's MMA. But as of right now, she's one of the greatest in MMA, period.
Okay.
You know, Jacare is retired. Damian Maia is about to retire.
Jacare. Yes.
Yeah, Fabricio Verdum is Fabricio Verdum now. Mackenzie Dern is so far ahead of everybody. It's crazy. I mean, to see what she did in that fight.
It's
and Rodriguez is not like her. It's not like Rodriguez doesn't know jiu-jitsu. She's won tournaments. She's won all these accolades too. Mackenzie Dern is different though. I mean,
next level.
If she got like a power double leg, or at least got good enough striking to enter the clinch against the cage a little bit better and just wrap you up. That's what Damian Maia ended up doing, right? Damian Maia did not have a great double leg, but he was able to close the distance. And to close the distance, you either need a power double, power single, or you have to set it up with strikes. She will eventually, right? But it's still, this was a good setback for her, I think, right?
Yeah.
If she goes up there and she starts fighting some of the girls who are next, she gets lit up.
Dude, again, I've seen some improvements on her striking ever since she's been with Perillo. I think it's going to continue getting better.
Yeah.
When we think about how long she's been in the UFC versus how long she's been taking it seriously, like,
True.
You know, it's she hasn't been taking it that seriously that long, and she'll tell you herself, like she said on some interviews, you know, she's making weight a lot easier now at 115. Yeah. You know, she says that she's approaching this as a professional now, and I'm excited to see what she's able to do here with, you know, another year, 2 years of time under Perillo. I don't know about you, but I still think she's top 5 material.
She still has a very high ceiling because that bad striking. Eventually, she's gonna get like dropped or something, right? And
she's got a chin on her
ground.
She's got a chin on her too.
Yeah, I'd love to see her do some like Verdum style shit, right? When Verdum played Fedor into his guard, like shit like that. I'd love to see that because
like she gets hit and she's like, "Oh no, I'm rocked. Don't come after me." And then somebody comes after her and she just takes him down.
Like, whoop. Yeah.
I mean, there's her strategy for the next one. There's her strategy. Anything else?
Fire Perillo, hire me. No, but Rodriguez is the real deal. Her striking is really good.
And also, I know we're talking about Dern striking. Like, I'll tell everybody right now, she'll kick my ass in 10 seconds or less.
Yeah.
Maybe 5. But just comparing, right, to a Marina Rodriguez, who she just went up against, you could tell, man, that her striking is still behind. So
yeah. So let's get Rodriguez versus Joanna going.
Ooh, me gusta. That's I believe on the news a little bit later. We'll go over that.
Okay.
Me gusta, by the way, means I like it, Will, in case you need a translation.
Yeah, I know. I've seen Nacho Libre.
Oh, get that corn out of my face. All right, Brown versus Gooden. Brown versus Gooden. Dude, the front kick. Okay.
The best and worst part of the fight.
So front kick.
Yeah.
Front kick right on Gooden. And he steps down. He's moving around. And I don't know how the announcers didn't catch this right away.
I know.
But I'm watching it, and I'm looking, and I'm like, is his toe pointing up as he's walking? And then I see him look down, and he steps on his toe to try to get it down. And I was like, oh, my God, his toe's broken. And I'm just waiting. Bad. I'm waiting for Felder. I'm waiting for Anik to be like, oh, his toe's broken. I didn't hear anything until the next round.
I know. Yeah.
Gnarly.
Also, flashback to the Wilder-Fury fight. Wilder, they do think he either broke a finger or broke some knuckles.
He kept on like rubbing his hand after he punched and stuff. Or?
I noticed it before. He does that before. That was another thing they didn't catch until way later in the fight. But he also switched to the horsehair gloves way later, like the day of the fight, because Fury did it. And I mean, that's how you hurt your hands. He hurt his hands early in his career with those gloves. That's why he switched to the foam gloves. And he switched back. I don't know, crazy, but yeah, I mean, the front kick, I mean, Randy Brown looked like if that didn't happen, he was about to have like a coming out party type performance. Yep. It seemed like he was in the Matrix, he was seeing everything. He was in the flow state, but he just couldn't quite
he was more flat-footed for sure after he broke his toe.
Yeah. And he kept having to reset it. He kept having to step on it. You could tell that caught his mind. He's had to think, now I have to think about this. Oh, I can't throw the front kick anymore. I can't do this anymore. I have to worry about my footwork. Have you
ever hurt your toe really bad?
I've broken my pinky toes 3 times.
And you don't realize how, like, when you break any one of your toes, you're like, oh, I need that a lot for balance.
Yeah.
Like, you take it for granted. Think about things that you take for granted. Any one of your toes, and you're like, oh, shit, I never realized how much pressure I put on it. I know. But, dude, like, this dude's fighting for close to all 3 rounds. With a busted toe, it's in pain. He keeps on stepping on his own toe to put it back in place.
Yeah.
So it just shows, man, just how mentally strong Brown is. Gooden, great job, Gooden, with the leg kicks. He kept on eating away, chopping away at the legs. So I thought that was awesome. And it was
sure make weight next time.
Yeah, that would help.
Yeah.
Dude, don't get me going on the weight issues. God damn it, don't get me going on the weight issues. I feel like every episode.
Did you see what Randy Brown said?
What did he say?
He was like, this is bullshit. It needs to be like 50%. This guy's probably making like $16K. I'm going to get 5% of that. And then he still gets a weight advantage.
True.
Yeah.
Which is true. But dude, we can go on a huge rant again about weight and missing weight. Every week. Every week we can go off about fighter pay. Every week we could go off about missing weight.
You could miss weight and then headline the next card because of it.
That's insane.
That's what happened this week.
That's insane. Yeah, Aspen Ladd.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, that's a nice way to take care of the weight issues, huh? UFC.
Yeah. Oh, you missed weight, you couldn't fight, but
we'll put you on the
so headliner
for the next week. Good job. Yeah. Glad you missed last week. All right. Yeah. So, but man, so I was thrown off at the end though. Brown, he's talking in the interview, and then boom, in comes the Jamaican accent. So I was like,
yeah,
I didn't know it could be turned on and off like that. Very much like Dern going Valley Girl to heavy Portuguese accent, Brazilian accent, so I don't know. It was just new to me.
Yeah. I like Randy Brown. I like Randy Brown
old
too. School. He used to be on the r/MMA before he was in the UFC. So he'd always be on there like, oh guys, got my first pro fight, got this fight. And then all of a sudden he's in the UFC and that's awesome. He still like talks to the community on there. He's a cool guy.
By the way, on the news a little bit later, somebody else breaking into the UFC. But we'll cover that later. How about the father-son story there that they were talking about? Dad in jail. He would visit his dad, as much as he can every single month. And I was like I found myself thinking like, what a nice story, like, yeah, the dad was in jail, but you know what? They still had a relationship. And the fact that he's so happy that his pop's out and, he's happy his dad's watching his fight. I was like, you know what? I like this Randy Brown. I like him. Props to his dad too. Glad he's out. Shout out to his dad. Hey. All right.
You're not just your worst mistakes. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, we're about to go deep on this podcast. All right.
Yeah.
On the next one, Elliott versus Nicolau. What'd you think of this one?
This was the rare occurrence of a bad read from the James Krause as a coach.
Yeah, we're usually singing his praises.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't be perfect, right? You're going to make some mistakes.
I mean, you just said it right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're just your mistakes. Going into the third, he told Tim Elliott that he's up.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't have, because he was not. Well, first he tells him that you need to win this round. It's split. And then Tim Elliott pushes back a little bit and he's like, it's not 2-0. Then he's like, no, yeah, it is.
You might be right there.
Yeah, but then you could see a significant lack of urgency from Elliott in that third round. And
yeah, dude. I mean,
tough,
when what was it, in the rubber guard that he had him?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just content with just holding him there and trying to get the ref to stand him back up. And
you can't do that when you're down 2 rounds, right?
I felt like he got the first round.
Yeah.
Second round was so close, so I just have no idea why he would be told.
You cannot just assume that you got it.
You know what? And even if he did, like, clearly won the second round, if I'm sitting in any corner, I'd probably be like, dude, these were close. Go out there with some urgency, Like, hey, don't get knocked out.
Way worse.
But also have some urgency.
Hey, man, they scored the first Tyson Fury Wilder fight a draw, so anything can happen.
And ultimately, you know what? If I know that Sal D'Amato or Adelaide Bird are sitting cage side, anything goes. So I don't care how much I think I might be up. If those wolves are sitting cage side, you know what? I'm just going to assume I'm down on the cards all the time.
You go for the kill all the time.
All the time. And even then, Adelaide Bird would be like, I don't know. I still give it to the other guy that got knocked out. But,
decent fight.
Dude, the first round, he seemed very, like, TJ-esque with his movement, the way he was in and out, switching stances, quick jab in, and he was just giving so many different looks. I thought he looked really, really good the first round, but Nicolau did a great job adjusting second round on.
Kind of neutralized him a little bit.
Yeah. But it was a fun fight.
Yeah. Fun fight. I really wanted Tim Elliott to win because Nicolau is the guy who beat Manel Kape in that split decision that I thought he definitely lost. But so I have a little bit of a curmudgeon with him.
Don't be mad at him for it. It's not his fault.
I know it's not his fault.
All right. So before that, we had Mazo versus Agapova, not Agapova. Agapova.
I know. I've been calling her Agapova this whole time.
Yeah, and I've been calling Lennox Lewis the entire time, and it's Lennox. Yeah. So I don't know anymore, dude. I don't know anything about life. I just give up. I give up.
Yeah.
But
this is back on track, right?
Agapova.
Yeah, this is back on track because she got the massive upset against her. Mm-hmm. Was it Shannon Dobson?
Yeah, Shannon Dobson. Is this when Agapova came out button smashing?
Yeah.
Just like throwing every kick and just like punch and then gassed up to the first 30 sequends.
It was like me in Soul Calibur 4 with Yoda when they had him on Xbox.
Just anybody you could
jumping around, just fucking.
But
yeah, this one much more composed. On a mission though. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
She's terrifying.
The thing I loved about Agapova though, did I say it right? Agapova?
I think so.
Okay. Was that she was first in a lot of the exchanges.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I love that whenever I'm watching fights, whoever's able to get off first, a lot of times it's going to go ahead and get the other person on their, fighting off their back foot. And dude, just every single time she was first on every single exchange, it got Mazo just kind of waiting to see if there's anything she can counter.
Yeah.
But
and then the way she dropped her, holy shit, dude. She dropped her and it was just like bop, 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 dropped, and then just instant choke out.
Bop, bop, bop.
Dude, it was crazy, dude.
Yeah, well, she went in for the kill right away.
Yeah, as soon as she took her back, choked out, tapping. I was like, oh my God.
Quick.
What a squeeze.
Quick.
Terrifying.
Props to Agapova.
Yeah, and now she called out Morose, right? Saying because Morose, remember, she was like, we kicked her out of ATT because she's out there, she's not training. Instead, she's like doing heroin in the locker room, and she's like, whoa.
Yeah,
whoa.
Hey, take it easy, huh?
Yeah.
Jesus, going right to the hair on.
There's some beef right there. Yeah, make that fight. Let's see it.
Jesus, that's aggressive, dude.
That's some beef right there.
Before
heroin
that, we
beef?
had
that might be the first heroin beef I've ever heard of in combat sports.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not around John Jones. Hey, so Romanov versus Vandera before that.
Yeah. I was very excited for this fight. Very excited for this matchup.
Ooh, what a shot that is.
I know, dude. And they were saying it the whole time. They're like, yeah, he loves those slams, but it cost him in his cardio because that last time, his last fight was a tough one in the later rounds.
For sure.
But, I mean, dude, this guy is legit, man. 15-0 in the heavyweight division. King Kong. I mean, look at him.
So a couple things. Right, Romanov had a big fence grab in this fight.
Yes.
And I was like, Mark Smith, what are you doing? But I find myself really liking Mark Smith, and I think it's because of how much he seems to be enjoying the fights too. He seems so intense because he has his arms out like this.
He's always like,
and his eyes are all wide open. He's like so serious. And like I compare him like a Keith Peterson, who's like I need another pack of cigarettes, like as he's waiting there. He's like,
I'm gonna stop this fight early so I can go.
I need another shot of whiskey.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude.
Are you ready?
Romanov just did a fantastic job, dude. It was pretty lopsided for me.
Absolute domination, man. I mean, those
so
slams.
Easy for him to get Bandera down.
So easy for him to get everybody down. I mean, dude, this guy is going to be a problem, dude. Like he already is. 15-0. I mean, he just runs through people. He just tosses everybody.
Props to his coach for avoiding that slam at the end too. I don't know if you noticed that.
I know. Yeah.
Like
he gets it.
Romanov goes over to hug him, and his coach runs back, and he's like,
yeah.
Like
it's so funny. One of the best like celebrations in the corner.
Maybe not for the coach, you know what I mean? The coach is like, nah, I'm good off that celebration, dude. I'll give you a high five though.
I told you my fucking back hurts this week.
All right, before that we had oh my god, Rosa versus Jackson. So like I said, I had to go back and catch up to the fights because of Dallas's games earlier in the day, right? So I start off with the Dern fight versus Rodriguez. And
wow, dude, you specifically asked me which one should I watch, and I said start with the first one and watch through the whole card. Don't look at any spoilers. Skip this one fight, and it said you start with the main event.
Is that what you told me? You told me to start with the first ones? I thought you said watch all the fights. Don't watch any spoilers. So, anyways, I should probably pay more attention to text. But so I know that I see like the Halloween movie advertisement in the background. I see the blood. Yeah. So I was like, oh, they decorated the octagon, like leading up to, like this is how oblivious I was to what had happened.
Holy
because I didn't hop on social media. I didn't do anything like that because I didn't want to, get any spoilers. And then I watched this fight.
Look at that.
And I'm like, oh my God, dude, that was a nasty cut.
Yeah. And going into it, Charles Rosa, he's one of those Roxanne Modafferi type characters where it's going back to 2014, he won, then lost, then 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 won, and then he lost this one. He just flips back and forth for the past 7 years.
Easy to bet on.
Yeah. He's going to win his next fight. But Damon Jackson, man, relentless with the
Life
grappling.
Savings right now. Putting it in.
Yeah. Damon Jackson's grappling is just relentless, dude. And then in that third round, early in the third, he just throws the back elbow. And another thing, they didn't catch until well later, but right away, you see it. It looks like he got shot in the face. I mean, it was crazy. And it was just pouring out of him. One of the bloodiest ones I've seen in a long time. It's been a while since we've had one like that.
Yeah, and dude, Jackson wasn't phased. Like, you see it, like, at first he was like, oh, when everything's just screaming out. But, dude, he just kept putting on a grappling clinic. And, going into this, Russell was also saying about how much he was working on his wrestling. He wanted to work on his wrestling, get back to his base, his foundation of wrestling. And Jackson was like, that's fine. We can wrestle, dude. We can wrestle. Let me show you this cool stuff. Watching
Damon Jackson, man, I'm a fan of his, and I have been for a while because, I mean, his nickname is The Leech, right? And it's so appropriate because he's just he just latches onto you and just sucks the life out of you. I mean, he's exhausting to watch.
We're talking about rest, right? And one of my favorite parts. So Chris Agnoni calls the doctor in. And by the way, I love this doctor because she goes up with the gauze and she's like, pat, pat, pat.
Yeah.
He's good. And Agnoni goes, all right. Like the way he said it, though, it's just like, oh, that's hilarious. Like, whatever you say. And back at it again.
Puts him right in the same position again against the cage.
Dude. Yeah. And then another part on this fight where, you have Felder go, I could smell the blood.
Yeah.
And then Anik's response, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I was like, dude. This is a little weird, man.
Yeah. I caught that
down,
too.
Dracula. But it was a little interesting, man. But David Jackson,
they cut back from a commercial break a little too early before the next fight starts, and it's just fucking Anik there in the cage on the ground, like fucking slurping up. Yeah,
that's disgusting. David Jackson, or Damon Jackson, from one bald guy to another, we gotta let that hair grow. Just let it go. Just let it go. At a certain point, no, let it go.
Damn.
Let it go. Just let it go. At a certain point, when the hairline starts getting to the middle back of your head, it might be time to let it go. And again, from one bald guy to another, I'm not talking shit. If we were to say that, you know what I mean? Screw you, Will, if you were to say that with your luscious locks. But on this end, I could say it. So it's all good. All right.
Yeah. I was hoping you were going to because I've been thinking it.
All right. We have Gomez Juárez versus Godinez. Were we going to cover this fight? I don't remember.
Lupita, Godinez. Dude, I'm here for it.
Dude.
Vicious. Absolutely vicious.
Was there anything Gomez Juárez did in this fight to mention on her end? Like, I was thinking, what can I point out that she did?
Yeah, no.
And it was just boom, 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 just one thing after another.
Dude, the way she got that armbar was nasty too. That was a nasty armbar, man.
Felder called it. Felder called it. She's rolling to the wrong side. She's turning into the wrong side, and boom, there we go, belly down.
She got it.
So I don't know if you remember when you caught me on the belly down armbar, Will.
They're scary to do to somebody that you don't actively want to hurt.
You fucked my wrist up for 2 weeks after that. You son of a bitch.
Dude, my bad. Hey, they're scary to do. When you do it, you're like, I don't really want to hurt this. Like in a fight, it's different, right? But
ever since that day, Will, it pops.
Really?
Ever since that day. Thanks a lot, dude.
My bad, dude.
I have a wrist to remember you by. But excellent fight. Godinez. Excellent fight. Controlled every aspect of the fight, man.
Big for her, right? Because she lost her debut against Penne. This is big for her. I'm excited to see what she does from here. Because, man, she showed her striking looked really good.
And were we going to cover the first fight too? Garcia versus Ontiveros?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that I think about it, I don't think I watched this one.
Oh, bro. Okay. Here, I'm going to spoil it for you, but you're going to have to rewatch it.
Okay.
Ontiveros, I don't know if you remember.
I like his hair.
He's the guy that got dropped by Kevin Holland. Got taken down against the clinch, and it broke his neck or some shit. Yes. And it was terrifying, right? And they were everyone's holding him down. Don't move your head. It was scary.
Yeah, I remember
broke his neck or his collarbone or something. It was nasty though. Verbal tap, right? This fight comes out. I'm like, fuck, man. I just really want to see this guy do well, right? Because that was nasty. First round, 30 seconds in. How many times have you seen an axe kick knock somebody down?
Really?
Dude, he lands. It was like an axe kick, hook kick hybrid, right? With his lead leg, comes down, catches him right on the cheek, and fucking drops him. And it wasn't like a off balance. He was wobbly, his legs kind of did the stinky leg a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Drops him, but then Steve Garcia just scrambly, right? Gets to him, takes him down.
I thought this was going to end well for Charlie Ontiveros the way he started the conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't look like it did. Doesn't look like it did. Okay.
And then the second round started, and he hurt Garcia again on the feet. But then Garcia got to him and took him down and then smashed him. Yes. And I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it, right? But the striking from Ontiveros, very good. Very, very good. It's just unfortunate that once he did get down, Garcia's ground and pound, dude, holy shit. He was going for it. There was no position first. It was just pure, I'm down here. I'm here to do damage. I think he had that sense of urgency, right? Because he had been dropped twice on the feet. I mean, he just put it to him. I mean, dyed his hair red. You know what I mean? It was nasty.
Looks pretty nasty. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. But you already gave me some spoilers, so I don't know.
It's still worth watching just for the kick.
Right.
It was fucking beautiful.
I'll go back and watch it. Hey, did you go through and do picks for this fight or for this card before it started?
No, I didn't.
No, you got to do that more often.
I just have too much shit going on, dude. But I tell you, I didn't make picks, but I did pick Rodriguez, Brown, Nicolau, Agapova, Gutierrez, Romanov, Jackson, Godinez, and Garcia.
I missed.
So I was perfect 9 for 9.
I missed on Dern.
I'm kidding. I didn't pick all this.
Yeah, probably not. But I missed on Dern. I missed on Tim Elliott and Mazo.
Nice.
Yeah, Agapova, man.
You picked Mazo.
I did pick Mazo. Hey,
Agapova, I mean, there's been some stuff behind the scenes with her, so I'm not surprised.
Apparently.
Did you see that video of her? She confronted that guy who she thought stole his phone. He was recording it in his car, and she's at the window, yelling at him and shit. And he's recording, what the fuck? Who are you?
That must have been scary too. A gap of coming at you. All right.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to cover on this, or is it time for news?
Star Poli versus Pickett could have been in this. Phil Haas versus Deron Wynn. I was excited to see both of those fights.
Moment of silence.
Right. Also, I believe the first all-female performance of the night bonuses.
Ooh.
All the performance of the nights went to women. I think it's the first time.
Who got them? Because I don't see the performance of the night bonuses anywhere.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
Yeah. All right. Well.
Oh, here we go. It was Agapova, Godinez, and Dern versus Rodriguez got fight of the night.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
I respect that. All right. Time for news, I guess, huh? Rich the Casual, what you got for us?
Let's do it. Pulling it up right now. We have first on the docket.
By the way, Rich the Casual, you went to the Cowboys game today, right?
I didn't actually go to the game. I just watched it on TV.
Oh, I thought you were going to the game.
No, I just never replied to you when you asked me that. But yeah, the Cowboys happened to win.
I'm also a
casual NFL fan.
Yeah.
I'm even worse than that.
NBA
I'm not even a casual NFL fan.
NBA takes up a lot of time, man. Season's coming up in about a week and a half. So get ready for that.
Nobody cares.
No, we definitely care over at the Shot Callers NBA podcast.
There we go. Nice plug.
Yeah, thanks. Thinks Joanna shouldn't even be ranked since she has been inactive. So what does this mean? Please explain.
Look,
I mean, come on, that's the
Joanna hasn't been ranked or hasn't fought since the fight against Zhang Weili, right?
Yeah.
Let's be real here. There's been other people that have been inactive just as long, if not longer, that still continue being ranked.
Yeah.
She's still going to come back and fight here. Hopefully it's soon. I personally think she should still be in the rankings because she is still one of the best fighters in that division.
I think she won that fight. How about that?
Dude, it was such a good fight, man.
Yeah.
That's
Very
one
close.
fight that...
Not a robbery, but I do think she won.
Richie Casual, put that on your list of fights to watch that will never get watched.
Yeah, I think that's Rodriguez just talking some shit to try to get the fight. She wants that fight. Come on. Because what is she going to do? Fight? I mean, at this point, since they're doing Rose versus Zhang Weili 2, even though the real number one contender is Carla Esparza, if I'm Rodriguez, I have to fight up after this, right?
Who's Yan Shannon?
Mackenzie Dern was. I'm not sure, but she just lost to Esparza. I mean, she needs to fight someone like Dern, right? Esparza should be fighting for the belt. Is she going to twerk? What? Who?
Is she going to twerk during weigh-in? Is who going to twerk during weigh-in? That's a question coming through from Andy Ruiz here.
Yeah, the former heavyweight champ.
The former
Anthony Joshua. but she's not going to fight Esparza. She just lost to Esparza, so she has to fight up. She's not going to fight Yan Shannon. She's coming off a loss. That's why she needs the Joanna fight. It's also the biggest name she could fight. Yeah, she's just angling to get that fight.
And I mean, at that point, right? You got the rematch of Zhang Weili versus Rose Namajunas, and then I guess it would be the winner of Marina Rodriguez and Joanna Jędrzejczyk that would probably get the winner of that match.
Now you got to do Esparza. Esparza deserves, as much as I'm not a huge Esparza fan, she deserves it.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
because who's she supposed to fight if it's not Joanna?
And you know what? You're right. Carla Esparza in her last fight, especially too. One of the things that we had talked about with her is that she would take opponents down and lay and pray, but her ground and pound, yes, against Yan Shannon was fantastic, man.
Yeah, and so who's she supposed to fight outside of the title right now? Rodriguez, who she just beat already, or Joanna? She's the only person that's above her, right?
No. Yeah, I mean,
so like she shouldn't have to fight down. She's been on a streak, you know.
You know what? Well, you're right. You're right. So I go with you. Yeah, let's see. Let's get Carla Esparza that shot. She deserved it.
The problem though is, if Zhang Weili beats Rose, they're doing the trilogy, and Carla Esparza gets to sit around. At that point, she has to fight Joanna, right? That's the only fight that makes sense outside of a title fight. I don't know.
That would be a rematch too, right?
Yeah, the first one did not go well.
For Carla Esparza. Okay, what's the next one, Rich? What else we got?
Oh no, what happened? Whoa!
Junior Dos Santos.
Dos Santos will be making his pro wrestling debut at AEW Dynamite. I don't know if you guys know, but AEW is capturing the 20 to 32 ish demographic that we're all in over WWE.
How do
I know that? I just know. and
Okay.
and additions like this have to be helping because I'm watching AEW. I'm in.
I've never heard of it.
They're speaking to me.
You've never heard of AEW?
No.
Shout out
Sounds
Matt Mateo.
Sounds like a root beer.
Matt Mateo Lindsay over there because he's all about wrestling, and I'm sure he probably knew this news before I even found out about it.
Yeah.
But dude, we have a Cain Velasquez now. He's in AEW, isn't he? Cain Velasquez?
Oh, I have no idea.
Can you look that up, Rich?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure he's in AEW. He's not in WWE, is he? Or no, I think he's gonna be in the Mexican Triple A, as they call it. Stands for Triple A. Will.
Yeah.
Triple A. But yeah, I don't know. Rich will probably.
Like I said,
be able
I've
to find
seen
out
Lucha Libre. Yeah, I don't follow wrestling at all.
It looks like he got cut from WWE.
Okay.
And AEW, yes, was on the docket. So yeah, you're right.
Rough go though for Cain Velasquez. I'm getting cut from the UFC, or did he retire? I can't remember. He retired.
I don't see anything about Triple A.
All right. Well, I don't know. Hey, but let Junior Dos Santos make that money, man. If he's making that money going through AEW, then let's do it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll watch. I haven't watched a wrestling match in so long, but for Junior Dos Santos, because he seems like such a nice guy. We got to watch him live. Will get knocked out by Stipe Miocic.
Yeah.
You know. So let's.
I mean, here's the thing. Dos Santos is awesome. He's always been such a cool dude. I will not watch, but I do support it, and I hope he gets paid.
Such a jerk. I hope he gets paid. Yes. All right. What's next on the list?
Next is my least favorite headline of the bunch here.
Oh no!
Violent Bob Ross arrested again for putting his hands on 2 women. 1, battery. Ooh. Domestic violence, bad. 1, how are you going to drag Bob Ross's name through the mud? You're talking to the guy that once showed up at an impromptu Bob Ross painting competition.
What?
I didn't win. Yes, I competed. Yes, I was in it. I didn't win. But in the spirit of, loving things and being happy trees, I'm not down with this. Tell me why I should hate this guy.
I mean, this guy, look, to say like, oh, what if?
This is now the second time, right?
Yeah, this is the second time. And the other one, I want to say was a few months back, June or July.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago. So, but, sometimes you'll see a fighter and you're like, man, what if? What if? Look, the reality is with Violent Bob Ross, there's no what if. He was never going to make it big in the UFC. He wasn't going to be a big deal. He's not drawing a lot of eyes there.
He was a local 884 shopper.
He was a local shopper at the Gilroy Best Buy, yes. But you know what? Not proud of that. Not proud of that. No. But dude, of course,
I was at a
never
certain point.
condone anybody, taking part in domestic violence, any form of domestic violence. We talked about John Jones recently. This is another guy, Violent Bob Ross. In my eyes, this guy's a piece, man. I hope we never have to see any headlines, hear about this guy ever again.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy too because literally I think 2 days before he was arrested that first time, he did an interview where he was talking about how he's struggling with mental health and severe depression, and he doesn't know what he's doing in his life and all this shit. And then everyone was like, "Damn, dude, I feel bad for him, man. He's going through some shit." And then the next day, it comes out he just got arrested and for some gnarly shit. And it's dude, I mean, I do feel bad, right? Because at a certain point, he seemed like a pretty good dude, right? Ultimate Fighter on the house, people liked him. Seemed like a good dude, and then he talks about his struggles. I don't know what happened to his life.
Do you think he talked about the struggles because he knew this news was going to come out?
Maybe.
Do you think he was setting the table?
I would like to give people the benefit of the doubt in that situation, but there's a very good possibility.
All right. Well, you're a nice guy, Will.
Before everybody finds out, but yeah, I don't know. It's a shame though, man. I mean, I hate to see it.
Moving on. Tyson Fury partying hard with Steve Aoki after an 11-round brawl. I don't like Steve Aoki either, but
look at Sugar Hill, dude.
Were there any cakes thrown at this party? Do we know?
Probably, I don't know. But
if you guys don't know, Steve Aoki throws a cake every concert into the his thing.
Smashes people's faces with them, and people want it. But I think we might have lost. I think we lost Ramiro.
Still for a long time.
And I think this was his.
You're definitely a nice guy.
He's back.
Oh,
maybe not. But I mean, how cool to see Sugar Hill out there in the.
Did you get knocked out by a cake right now? Is that where you went?
Me? Oh, I thought Ramiro was
not
gone.
Will. Sorry, Ramiro. Did you get knocked out by a cake rack?
No, so I think my stuff's getting knocked out by 70-mile-per-hour winds that are hitting my house right now.
Oh, okay. We got
the storm's hitting, but it's all good. You know what I mean? Because anything that has to do with the Gypsy King, I'm all in. 70-mile-per-hour winds or not, that's my boy right there. And the fact that this guy went 11 hard rounds, dude got knocked down twice in the 4th round.
Yeah,
and he after the fight, not only does he serenade the crowd after he wins, but he says, "Let me party all night with Steve Aoki." This guy's a legend. He's an absolute legend.
Dude, look at Sugar Hill too with the shirt off. In the post-fight press conference, they're both sitting there shirtless.
Shirtless with Bud Lights in their hands. You know what I mean? Why not?
Yeah,
dude?
and
is that Paris standing right next to Tyson Fury?
I think so. In the post-fight press conference, Tyson Fury has the WBC belt around his belly, just in shorts, shirtless. And then Sugar Hill sitting there shirtless in solidarity with him with the Ring Magazine belt over his shoulder. And I was like, damn, dude, what a combo. What a combo. But that's pretty much it. I don't know what's going on down there. But yeah, I respect it.
Well, the wind is blowing again. I think on Ramiro, he's frozen. But
yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and move us to our favorite headline, at least my favorite headline of the night so far. I've been saying what my least favorite ones are, but my favorite one is Eric Gonzalez Ghost Pepper gets the call. Please let us know what's happening. When is this happening? Story of the fight alum, Ghost Pepper.
Yeah, that's a bummer that Ramiro's gone for this one because, man, Ghost Pepper, dude. When we got the news from this, I was so happy, man. Just so stoked for him because if you go back and watch our interview with him after he just got his last win, he's like, man, my goal, I wanted to get to the UFC by the time I'm 30. And I turned 30 in January. We recorded the interview in August, and he's like, January, I'm gonna turn 30. I hope I get the call before that. And then here we go. Short notice, whatever, 10 days notice. Let's do it. He fights next weekend. I think we're gonna do hopefully a live fight companion for it to support the boy. Man, Ghost Pepper, Saturday.
Yeah,
I mean, and taking on Jim Miller for the short notice, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. What a banger. They bumped him to the main card too.
Hey, Will, also, could there be a better opponent? Okay, so check it out.
Perfect for both. Yeah, for Ghost Pepper,
Jim
man.
Miller. Okay, Jim Miller's he's lost 3 out of his last 4 fights. He's not the same Jim Miller as before, but
that
he's
first
a staple
round
of the UFC.
And the first round is tough.
This first
so it's not
round
like it's not like he's fighting someone who's like, if he wins, people aren't going to be like, well, yeah, he beat old Jim Miller.
He's fighting Diego Sanchez and no Diego Sanchez, right?
It's not that.
But he's a staple of the UFC. So talk about getting eyes on your first fight, on your UFC debut. It's
on
a
the
great
main card
matchup.
too.
On the main card, man. So
I'm
again,
so
shout
excited,
out to Ghost Pepper, right?
Yeah.
Super proud, super excited, man. You got
shout out Sansan for getting us in touch with him too.
Shout out Marcos, his manager, Upgrade Management. Just shout out to the entire crew. Thank you so much for getting us that interview. If you haven't seen that interview yet, please go back and watch it because I'm telling you, after watching that interview, listening to Ghost Pepper, there's no way that you can't love the guy. You're automatically rooting for him because he's so down to earth. He's a real dude, and what else could you ask for? So
yeah, dude,
I'm excited.
Ghost
I'm
Pepper,
pumped.
Jim Miller, fuck.
By the way, Ghost Pepper. I don't know if you know this, but everybody so far that has come on the podcast has won their next fight. So
it's true.
Vaya con Dios, my friend. Yes.
Dude, I'm so excited, man.
I'm excited,
task, man. Short notice, taking on Jim Miller, main card.
Yep. And hey, I hate to do this, but legit 70-mile-per-hour winds are hitting the house right now. So we might have to cut it off right now.
Yeah. So we're gonna do the fight companion for the card for Ghost Pepper. So catch us live on YouTube for that. And we'll do a recap for the card on Sunday.
Awesome. Well, everybody, again, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Join us whenever we go live because it makes it so much fun whenever these comments are coming through and we're able to interact with everybody live as we go. And thank you, everybody, for listening to another week. Story of the fight. I like how we just stare at each other awkwardly, Will.